Hello, denizens. I wasn't going to make yet another video on this entire Amazon Lord of the Things, Rings of Power craziness, but as a contrarian and as someone who has the experience to apply a different perspective to the common narratives flooding YouTube, I felt it was necessary to dive in once again. In my first video, I had put on my former network executive hat, and, well, I didn't have a hat on, well, at all, actually, but metaphorically hat, and mentioned that notwithstanding what the fandom is railing about, if the final numbers are there, the network will be happy. As a network executive, I got to keep my job because of the numbers, not the quality. That sounds pretty cynical, but that's the deal. Advertisers hand over their cash because of the number of eyeballs you deliver, not the mulings of LOTR adherents. And I'm one of those adherents. Don't get me wrong. I'm just giving you the reality of the biz. Now, the trailer for the Rings of Power dropped, and honestly, it's horrible. And let me dive into Tolkien tirade territory for just a moment. I'm only human, after all. But the trailer looks like something from a video game. Its biggest crime? It did not return me to Middle-earth. The greatest achievement of the books was the creation of Middle-earth. Jackson's LOTR's greatest achievement was bringing Middle-earth to life. And as inconsistent and maddening as the Hobbit trilogy was, the one thing it did, for me at least, was bring me back to Middle-earth. And that was all I wanted. This trailer did not manage to accomplish this one simple thing. Okay, enough about that. Everyone's covering that. Now, putting on my executive in charge of production hat back on, I got a hat now, I wanted to pop in and say two things, comment on two things. First of all, so far, everything seems to be completely off-brand, and I'll get back to that later. The trailer smells of a lack of confidence in the product. It felt rushed. Perhaps the producers had cut a trailer of bucolic countrysides and pointy-eared people happily planting vegetation and with a sudden ending with a shrieking orc attack. But maybe the network thought it was not exciting enough. I don't know. I will tell you the two words most feared and hated by producers is network notes. Yes, I know the Silmarillion is wall-to-wall bleakness, and Amazon purchased the rights to at least parts of it, as I understand. But Peter Jackson himself said that he didn't think the Tolkien estate liked his Lord of the Rings and refused to license the Silmarillion to him, speaking of being on brand. Perhaps Bezos made a promise to the estate to not follow in Jackson's footsteps. So while you're all dunking on the trailer, you folks out there have no idea what kinds of pressure the different stakeholders are putting on the creative team. From my experience being on the inside, it's amazing that anything gets made, and made the way you wanted. It's one of the reasons I got out of the business, because it was constant compromise to the lowest common denominator. Now, on to my last point. I really feel badly for the actors at the center of this storm of controversy. I know you fans have really focused your hate on the intersectional portrayal of dwarves and elves in particular, but I do feel for the actors behind the characters being held up as examples of how badly Tolkien has been fucked up the ass. And I know most of you commenting are not racists, but I still feel for the actors. I'm an actor. I know I would be taking your comments personally. We're a sensitive bunch. And those of you who are making Don Lemon jokes about this one actor, that's kind of bordering on racist. The actors answered a casting call. I would imagine that, one, they were happy to just have a job. And two, they were really excited to be able to join the world of Lord of the Rings. This mess is not their fault. They did not expect to be poster people for your ire. There are so many things wrong with what I've seen already. The Joan of Arcing of Galadriel, in particular. And yes, the intersectional casting. And I'm sure there'll be a trans troll portrayal in the series somewhere. But enough with the non-white casting angst. I feel we're getting very close to breaking that fourth wall. What we won't know is, will it succeed or not until it airs. Just don't get me started on Cowboy Bebop. Till next time, denizens, be seeing you.